Welcome back. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and since the start of the pandemic, the World Health Organization says suicide is the fourth leading cause of death worldwide in those ages 15 to 29. Our next guest says our culture causing the spike in depression and suicide, and also says faith and spirituality can help to heal. Joining us now to discuss, the author of this book on your screen, The Lord Was with Joseph, Dr. Scott Pauley, is joining us. Thanks so much, Scott, for coming on today. Tell me about when you hear those stats, first of all, what that tells you about where our young people are right now when it comes to mental health struggles.
Well, Emma, thank you for having me on today. I really appreciate it. I just returned from a trip to Canada and had the privilege to speak to several hundred young people there. And in that meeting, we had a question and answer session where kids could submit questions on anything. And frankly, I was shocked by the number of questions related to depression, suicide. I think in the last couple of years, we've been so concentrated on the pandemic that we have neglected the epidemic. And the epidemic is much deeper. It's not just physical. It goes to the mind and even deeper than that to the heart. And there are lots of reasons for that. There are physical things and mental and emotional and circumstantial. But we're spiritual people. We're made with a spirit. And so because of that, we have spiritual needs. And when those spiritual needs are not addressed, then lots of other things grow out of that. The U.S. Surgeon General, week before last, came out and said, I thought it was shocking, that there are more Americans dealing with loneliness right now than dealing with diabetes. Wow. I think we need to give some attention to it. And as a minister of the gospel, I believe that only one message really gives hope, both for now and for eternity. That's the message of Jesus Christ. A few weeks ago, we celebrated Easter, lots of people talking about the resurrection. But that's not just a good message for that weekend. That's a message people need every day. Christ died for us, was buried, rose again from the dead. And when people find grace and peace with God, he brings the joy. Circumstances can still be difficult. We all have problems and difficulties, but the Lord does something for us no person on earth can do for us.
Yeah. I wonder, too, how much social media plays into the pressures that the younger generations put on themselves when they see someone who looks like they're living a fabulous life online, and it's really only through a filter, quite frankly, because no one's life is perfect, but it's amazing what you can portray online.
You know what's really interesting? We're the most connected and the most disconnected generation in history. So we have more social media connections than any generation, but people don't have real meaningful relationships. And see, I believe two things are needed right now. Number one, people need a personal relationship with God through Jesus Christ. Number two, people need relationships with one another. And I hear a lot of talk about community. Well, that's what the church is all about. That's why meeting with one another is so essential right now, because people need that. Look, I've had people that I know and love who have gotten so low they've taken their own life. I think most of our listeners know someone like that. One of the oldest verses in Scripture, given by the wisest man who ever lived, Solomon, says this: a living dog is better than a dead lion. It means, though you'd rather be a lion than a dog, it's better to be alive. So if you're breathing today, there's hope. That's the message we find in the gospel.
Indeed. It's a great message to share, a good reminder as well for those who might be struggling right now. Dr. Scott Pauley, thanks for coming on and sharing that with us today. You're welcome. Take care.